Namaste and welcome to our inner thigh workout. We're going to begin with our legs far apart on our tiptoes in the center of our mat, just taking some goddesses. Squat down as low as you can, squeezing the glutes and inner thighs, and then come back up, keeping on your tiptoe position. Doing this a few times, keeping that core in tight. Now staying low in our goddess pose with our feet flat on the floor, we're going to lift up one heel and then take one pulse. Release the heel and then do the same on the other side. Keep your legs as wide as you can and squat low in that pulse, really working the hamstring and the inner thigh. And you're finished. Bringing your feet hip distance apart now, we're going to take a regular squat hold, and then we're just going to part the knees, taking an abduction in this squat, really squeezing the glutes and inner thighs here, doing this slowly, really keeping that core in tight as well. And you're finished. We're going to make our way onto the mat in a half side plank on our hand. When you meet me here, we're going to lift up our top leg, straightening it out, pointing the toe, and just take some small circles. Really keeping control, using that core, squeezing and burning out the inner thighs. Now making our way down onto our forearm on our side, we're going to take some frog pulses. So we're just going to kick our leg out to the sky, flexing the feet, parting the knees, and then joining them together as we push forward. Squeezing the inner thighs as we push forward too. Exhaling here. Also working that top oblique. Now taking both our legs out straight and hovering the legs up off the mat, pointing the toes, we're just going to take some scissors. This is super effective for the inner and outer thighs, so really squeezing the entire leg here, keeping that core in tight. Now crossing the top leg over the bottom, we're just going to take some inner thigh pulses, flexing that bottom foot, really squeezing the inner thigh yet again. This is super effective for melting that fat. And releasing that bottom leg, we're just going to take some passe taps with the top leg, tapping that foot backwards and forwards over the leg, lifting that foot as high as you can, squeezing the inner thigh, keeping the toes pointed. And you're done on that side. Moving on to the other side, beginning in our half side plank, we're going to begin with those circles, pointing the toe, keeping the core in tight, working the side booty and the inner thigh here. Now coming down onto our forearms, we're going to take those frog kicks, keeping our feet flexed, taking an angle as we kick to the sky, making our body look like a V shape here. Also burning out that top oblique as well as the inner thighs. Extending both our legs out now, pointing the toes, we're going to take those scissors, taking these slow, really resisting gravity here, burning out the inner and outer thighs as well as that top oblique yet again. Crossing the top leg over the bottom leg, taking those inner thigh pulses, flexing the bottom foot, really squeezing the inner thigh, melting all that middle fat. Now taking our posse taps backwards and forwards over that bottom leg, keeping that leg as high as possible as we switch sides, pointing the toe, squeezing the inner thighs. And you're finished. Making your way into a reclined position on your back, we're going to take our final exercise of the practice. When you meet me here, we're going to take lying splits and just pulse the legs away from one another. This is kind of like a reclined middle split. Stay in a crunch hold, using your core to support your legs, really squeezing and burning out those inner thighs, pointing the toes. And relax. Thank you for joining me today. Join me in saying Namaste.